video to Medieval Warriors video, which I'll link to in the description. I meant to do it more than a week ago, but I just got distracted and busy. I thought I'd share a bit about myself and briefly describe a few of my hobbies. Several years ago, when I was in high school, I started drawing. I was never all that good at it, but I did enjoy the process. Sadly, I haven't done it very consistently, but it is something I really want to get back into. When I first started, mostly I tried to draw Lovecraftian stuff. Here are a few random things. This is based off of Arthur Machen's works. He was a Welsh author who wrote about the fair folk, but took a distinctly older, more pagan view of them, rather than the 19th century sanitized Victorian version. This is just some insect eldritch thing I drew years ago in high school as well. And here's a Lovecraftian Venus flytrap creature I did more recently. Finally, here's a sketch of the man from Providence himself. I also have done some other portrait sketches. For example, a picture of an Armenian or Syrian girl I made a while ago. Personally, this is one of my favorites. This picture is of Eugene Hutz, the main singer from Gogol Bordello, who also co-starred in the movie Everything is Illuminated. Lastly, this is a Lithuanian girl I drew more recently, which I also quite like. Like I said, I'm pretty rusty, but I'd love to get back into drawing consistently. I find that it can be quite relaxing, and can even help in understanding the world better. I have kept aquariums of some sort for all of my life practically, and I quite enjoy keeping various fish, amphibians, and invertebrates. I've had freshwater fish intermittently ever since I was a kid, and currently have a 55-gallon planted freshwater tank. What I have stocked is pretty basic, just a variety of tetras, danios, catfish, loaches, hatchetfish, and some other freshwater invertebrates like shrimp or snails. In the past year, I've also gotten into saltwater fish keeping. There's definitely less of a margin for error, but I think it's pretty much worth it, and it can be really beautiful. There's just such a wide variety of fascinating organisms you can keep. I'm hardly an expert by any means, as I have certainly made some mistakes in the process. The fish and invertebrates have mostly been doing great. It's really just the coral I've had frustrations with. It felt like overnight half of them just died, and I still don't know why. Currently, I have 5 fish, 3 shrimp, assorted crabs and snails, and what corals I have left. It has been really enjoyable, but also a source of some frustration to be sure. Like I said, I've also kept amphibians. For example, I've had fire-bellied toads for several years. I think they're really cute and super easy to keep. They don't even need a heater since they're from northern China and Korea originally. I'd say they're a great first amphibian for someone who wants to keep a more exotic pet but doesn't have that much time or money available. I also just recently adopted 2 axolotls from someone who was giving them away. They're this kind of salamander from Mexico, which retains elements of its larval stage for all of its life. They're pretty bizarre looking, but very unique and fun to watch. They can regrow limbs and gills when those are severed, and as I understand it, science is currently looking into how if at all, that can be applied to humans. I've briefly kept African dwarf frogs, but sadly they didn't last very long. I will probably try again with a smaller tank to see if that was the problem. Another species I would absolutely love to keep are poison dart frogs. They're actually not poisonous when captive bred and kept in captivity, because from what I understand, in the wild they get their poison from synthesizing ants and beetles that they eat, which are toxic originally. So if you feed them fruit flies and the like, obviously that's not a problem. Like I said, I think they're beautiful, but they do cost a fair amount and need a constant source of fruit flies, so I'll probably wait a bit before trying to keep them. Lastly, I like hiking and doing stuff outdoors. As I live in Colorado, there are so many beautiful mountains and other landscapes within easy access. In addition to going to the more local places, a year ago I visited the Grand Canyon, and found it quite extraordinary. It is a cliché, but pictures and descriptions really don't compare with seeing it in real life. There were also super amazing wildlife, like this mountain goat, for example. I don't have as much to say about this as I do for my other hobbies, but it is something I really like to do, and I would encourage everyone to get out in nature as much as they can. I know this wasn't my usual video, and I fully intend on finishing my current series as quickly as possible, but I did not want to wait any longer before making this. I hope people still enjoyed me talking a little about myself. One more thing, it's not really a hobby, but here's a picture of my cat, as a kitten and as an adult. Thanks for watching.